One of the very first creative musical practices I engage in and have my students engage in is what I call drone improvisation. The objective of drone improvisation is to focus on a specific tonal center by way of a drone and various concepts of musicianship while interacting with the drone, such as tone, speed, agility, intonation, relaxation, expression, articulation, shifting, vibrato, dynamic contrast, etc., all by way of the application of scales, arpeggios, melodies, and rhythms, and all generated in the moment in an improvisatory manner. With Series Plus instruments and its integrated pickup system, students are able to explore drones with amplification and effects like reverb and delay. Before I demonstrate individual drone improvisation, I'd like to walk you through the process. Begin by establishing a scale to focus on. Use the root note of the scale as a drone and play it through speakers or headphones. There are web-based and tablet-based applications you can use to generate a drone. Consider using the Drone Tone Tool application, which is the application of choice for me and my students. Once the drone is playing, meditate on the drone for a short period of time, then begin playing the scale. 1, 2, or 3 octaves is fine. Hold each note indefinitely and focus on its interaction with the drone. Refrain from locking into a steady beat as you move from note to note. Sit on notes, flow through notes, repeat notes, add vibrato, fluctuate dynamics, incorporate ornamentation or articulation. Ascend up the scale, then descend back down to the root note. Hold the root note for a short period of time, then ease into a short or long free-form improvisation. Ease out of the improvisation to the root note, sit on it, then play the ascending and descending arpeggio. Upon your descent back down to the root note of the arpeggio sequence, begin to transition into an improvisation, focusing on the chord tones of the scale while also sprinkling in non-chord tones. Freely improvise to your heart's content. Culminate your improvisation by easing back to the root note and sustaining it for a short period of time. Keep in mind that the improvisatory nature of this exercise encourages the continuous flow of your musical focus, evolving your attention from one or more components of musicianship to another. Drone improvisation can also be experienced by a small ensemble of musicians. I'd like to walk you through the process using Series Plus instruments. In your small ensemble, choose a scale and collectively drone on its root note. After droning on the note for a short period of time, the first musician, who will facilitate the small ensemble drone improvisation, will visually cue the small ensemble to move to the second degree of the scale, then the third, fourth, etc. Each note of the scale should be sustained until everyone is in tune before moving to the next note of the scale. Continue to ascend up the scale, then back down. The small ensemble facilitator will then transition everyone to the arpeggio sequence, ascending up the arpeggio, then descending back down to the root note. As the small ensemble drones on the root note, the facilitator musician will begin improvising for a period of time. The facilitator musician will complete the improvisation by easing back to the root note drone, then give a visual cue to the next musician to begin their improvisation. The second musician will then proceed into free improvisation for a period of time, ease back to the root note drone, then visually cue the next musician to begin improvising. This process should continue until each member of the small ensemble has improvised over the drone. Ensemble members providing the drone for the improviser can subtly move between sustaining the root, the fifth, and the third of the established scale to provide additional harmonic color. Drones can also be held on the non-chord tones of the established scale to expand the harmonic coloration musicians can improvise over. Modifying the exercise to include 2 or more members improvising simultaneously while drone tones are maintained can promote spontaneous musical conversation and refine attentive listening skills. An additional modification might involve ensemble members transitioning their drones from sustained long tones to rhythmic ostinatos in order to provide the improvising musician a subtly evolving musical canvas from which to navigate their respective improvisation. Orchestra and private studio teachers, as well as chamber music coaches and section leaders, can infuse drone improvisation practices into their pedagogy with ease and flexibility by encouraging students to engage in a 2 to 3 minute drone improvisation during their practice routine, orchestra rehearsal, chamber music rehearsal, sectional, or private lesson. With consistent support and guidance from their teacher or coach, young musicians are capable of regularly and successfully engaging in drone improvisation. Like the musicians who execute a cadenza in a manner that demonstrates their uniquely expressive and creative musical personalities, student musicians can use drone improvisation as a means to begin developing their own unique, expressive, and creative musical voices and personalities.